Hey everybody, it's Natalie Gold with the Gold Standard, and I'm here with a dear friend, Ashley Gravano. Hey Ashley.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. I'm loving your fiery red shirt today. It is bringing up the energy in
Yeah,
the
you need
house,
that.
literally in the house.
Right. 100% in the house. I figured I would get nice and bright. It's Friday Eve, so might as well mix things up a bit.
Why not? So I want to tell you all about this amazing woman. Ashley Gravano brings over 2 decades of success and experience in the title and settlement industry, devising and executing strategies while leading team efforts that have produced conclusive results, valuable business partnerships, and solid growth avenues for real estate products and services. With this experience, she joined Mortgage Cadence in 2019 as the VP of Product Solutions, bringing Mortgage Cadence's products to market. Just recently, she was promoted to VP of Communications and Business Development at Mortgage Cadence and will focus on expanding the Mortgage Cadence brand through both existing and new industry channels. Gravano serves as an influencer and is well known throughout the mortgage industry for her online presence. Hello, 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 Ashley.
Hey, girl, so much has changed in the last couple years.
I
So
know.
much has changed.
We met on a photo shoot,
We did.
and from there immediately hit it off.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, we wake up. It's 3 years later. There's a pandemic. Both of our lives are very different.
Yeah, to say the least. Like we walk from our bedroom to our office instead of walking down, Fifth Avenue in Manhattan going for cocktails in between meetings. It certainly has changed a whole lot.
Although I think my legs and my feet, especially, are thanking me for the 7-inch heels that are now in the closet.
Right. I know. I actually started running again not long ago and I said, "Man, I don't think I've worn sneakers or shoes in 6 months." So it was interesting. My feet were like, "What is this?" And they're not slippers. So,
I am all about the barefoot movement. So
yes,
I'm a
let's
fan
join
of
that.
it.
Could you imagine walking through Manhattan though bare feet? I mean, come on. I
I,
think I've done it once or twice because,
you
after 12 hours in meetings, sometimes you might have to.
Right. I was gonna say when you're like or 20 and you make some too many drinking issues and you're just like it's 3 a.m. in Long Island at the Long
Yeah.
Island Railroad. I mean, we don't really talk about those times, right? And we
Right.
see that that happens. And I think
Yeah.
the drunkenness of those girls ends up actually saving their feet. But to walk barefoot in Manhattan, I do
Yeah.
not think is a good idea.
Yeah, to be 20 and not really care anymore, right? I mean, I'm
Oh
in my
my God.
40s. This year I passed that 40 mark into 41 and
You
you
look
care a lot more about a lot of things, like my foot support as opposed to how cute my shoes are. So, anyway, I'm
I
aging myself here, but
No,
yeah.
not at all. And Ashley, look, what's amazing about you is you have such confidence in who you are and what you do. And tell us what that's been like bringing this mortgage technology company to the masses.
Yeah, I got to tell you, so I was in the title industry for most of my career. I was, pushing title insurance to attorneys and realtors and loan officers. And I had a dear friend reach out and say, "Hey, are you looking for some change? You're out and about all the time, and sometimes you're in 3 states in one day. What do you think?" And I got to tell you, I was like super nervous because this is all I've known. I mean, I've been in that field at that time. It was close to 19 years. I fell in it at 19, and I was nervous, but it took me a bit. It was like a real hard learning curve. The technology compared to obviously selling title insurance is very different, but it's just all relationships, right? I mean, it's about building relationships, caring about your customers, caring about prospects, not just your existing customers, and providing a solution as opposed to selling a product. So as long as you're confident in the product and the company, and you have faith that you can best service people, then it should just kind of like shine through, right? I mean, if you're coming across as nervous and pushing a product or pushing a service, then people will feel that. So you just kind of have to walk around like, I'm here just to help. I'm not here to sell, and it will just kind of fall into place for
Always.
me anyway. So
Always. And you take the route of education of let me serve you. How can I best put your business, put your life, put what you're doing as my priority? And
right.
then it's a natural thing from there.
Yeah, because I've actually said this, and my boss will eventually hear this, I'm sure, but I've actually said to some customers, this just isn't a fit for you. And they appreciate that. And I said, when it is a fit for you, come back. When we can help you, come back, because I never want to be that person or have my company represent something that's, false or untrue, that kind of forces their hand to make a move. With the mortgage industry, you really can't afford to make big moves and then have to the change management and shift back. So it's important just to focus on what works for them and hope that it's a fit. If it's not a fit, then, honesty, as corny as it sounds, honesty is the best policy here. So if it's not a fit for you or for them, then you have to gracefully say, come back to me when you're ready.
It's really funny. I don't take on many clients. Many people call me and they say, look, you don't need me right here. Like, you can do this or this or this, and you should save your money.
Yeah,
And I think people
100%.
really appreciate that, because it's quite rare today that someone says, save your money. Don't pay.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right, because it's certainly a dog eat dog world for a lot of us, right? I mean, we're either hunters or we're gatherers, and if you're turning away business, you're afraid. But I remember in my title insurance days that I would actually tell some attorneys or some realtors, listen, we just can't work together. As much as I like you as a person, as a friend, either our vibe doesn't work or the energy doesn't work. And that sounds crazy, because some people are like, who cares about energy? It's sales. But for me, it's not sales, it's solutions and it's relationships. So I'd rather not, affect a relationship that could last long term, because a lot of my clients from, back in the early 2000s are good friends. They know my kids, they know my family. We talk on the weekends. So the last thing I want to do is say, hey, buy this product, buy, or let us provide you with the service. And then them say, wow, this girl's really doesn't have our best interest at heart. So it's all about the relationships. And like you said, serving customers and serving in, the sense of like, it's best for everyone, not just yourself.
100%. So tell us a little bit about Mortgage Cadence and what they're up to.
Yeah, so I joined Mortgage Cadence last March. Not March, pandemic March, but the previous March. So we're mortgage technology, which again, still in the same space as the title insurance, just dealing with different folks. So we provide lenders with technology to originate loans. So everything from point of sale, where a borrower is going on and logging in to provide their information to get a loan approved, all the way down to the closing and title piece. So that's kind of where I already knew the process. We've got technology to help attorneys and title companies safely and securely. And you being an attorney know that the safe and secure is so important. Providing them closing docs and things like that for settlement. So mortgage tech, it's great. It's so busy right now with the rates being as low as they are. And, I think there's been some quotes floating around that it hasn't been this busy since 2003. And, we're keeping on our toes. I feel like since the pandemic that we're working more, because you're so close to your computer, like we were saying a few minutes
Oh,
ago,
it's
that you're
cute.
just,
Right.
yeah, exactly. No
So
commute.
do you think, yeah, that's a definite plus. And
Mhm.
Ashley, do you think that right now it's the best time for a first-time home buyer or someone who's looking to refinance to be doing their mortgage?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on a few things, right? I mean, I'm not a loan officer, but I certainly have the knowledge from being in the industry so long. So if you're, in my opinion, in a short term, you're looking to move within a year, maybe not, because costs and things like that associated with refinancing. But if you're, at a higher rate, if you're planning on staying a while, reach out to a loan officer, reach out to someone in the industry who can recommend somebody good. But their rates have never been this low. And lenders are trying to keep up, pick up new technology to help with the volume, because some of them could be working on older systems or not using a lot of the tech that is now needed because we're all in this pandemic. So things like e-closing, where they're having to not see borrowers in person. So there's certain states that are passing those laws. But it's definitely, for me anyway, is like, wow, I really have to look at my interest rate and see kind of where it is. And I've always been taught by my clients over the years, if you're saving a point, That was kind of like okay, if you're 4.2% and right now the rates are 3.2, you should probably refinance. So that kind of sticks in my head, but that's not obviously a fit for everyone. But it really depends on how long you're staying put in the house and where your rates are today.
And Ashley, for you to be at a tech company that happens to do mortgages and be on the speaking circuit, at least before the pandemic, how do you find the voice to go out into the world and present your company?
It's technology, it's Zoom, it's Microsoft Teams, it's virtual webinars. It's been really hard for myself and everyone else that's used to being a road warrior, right? I mean, I've been a road warrior, I'd say, for the last 9 years. Before I was in the back end of the office, going out, meeting people, going to conferences. I mean, last year there was 10 days I was in Austin, just conference, right? So it's tough not being in person. Also, if you're a relationship person or a hugger like me, this pandemic has been bad for me because I'm a hugger. Like I'm an old school Italian. I want to hug you. And, like I said, a lot of my clients become friends or family. So, we're relying on technology, FaceTime, Zoom, text. I got to tell you though, a lot of us are kind of getting that Zoom fatigue where we're like, oh no, another Zoom happy hour. But that's really how we've been staying in touch. But you have to be mindful too, if your clients are overwhelmed with volume in their real world of producing loans and things like that, you have to be mindful of their time too. So it's been a challenge balancing the communication piece so that you're staying top of mind, but also, connecting so that you're, making sure that they have everything they need. So it's been a little tough, but we've just been relying on, webinars and email check-ins, text messages, funny memes. Thank God for like GIF or GIFs, or however you say it on your cell phone. Sometimes I'll just like text like a hey. So
It's so
that's
needed,
it.
just a little lightening of the mood. And Ashley,
Mhm.
if you could predict 5 years, 10 years down the road, what is your day-to-day like, and what amazing things are you working on in the world?
My day to day 5 years from now, gosh, some days I'm like, I don't want to be pounding pavement anymore and working, but I don't think I could ever get away from that because I just love my customers and being out with people. So I'd love to grow in this company and kind of run a team of reps kind of in my vibe, right? If that makes any sense, that have that same energy and have that same sense of serving their clients and not just pushing a product. So I'd love to be out and about, but still, uh, possibly in a higher leadership role. We'll see though, because I don't know if I could go back to that. Back where I was before here, I was running a team and I felt disconnected from my clients, where I was like, wow, I'm just a voice through my team players that worked for me, and it just didn't kind of, I don't know.
I
So I
think
guess it depends on the day.
I think you really hit on a great point, which is a lot of people who are amazing at the person-to-person interaction in sales get rewarded by a management position, but
Mhm.
then they're really not doing the thing that they're great at.
Yeah, you hate it. You wind up hating it because you're behind a desk and you're managing reports and you're managing complaints and you're managing time cards. And I've done that a couple times, and it's rewarding, great because I love coaching, right? But I would love to still do what I'm doing and coach. So I would love a player coach kind of role. And that's something one of my old bosses told me, gosh, I guess like 8 or 9 years ago. He's like, you're best in a player coach. Like you can still go out there, but then you're still coaching the folks that are new. And so yeah, I think that I just
I
kind of
think that
answered
sounds
the
like a
question.
team captain,
Yeah. Yeah,
right? Like you're
exactly.
on the field, you're doing the stuff, and you just happen to be really great at it. So you're
Yeah.
inspiring your other players to level up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to do that. And I'd love to have a bigger presence with, because I know the podcast thing's huge right now, right? All of a sudden, because we're all locked up, a lot of folks are doing video blogs and video podcasts. I mean, I've been doing my Facebook Live and my LinkedIn videos for, gosh, 6 years now at this point. But now it's become, everyone's doing it. So I'd like to kind of level up my game on that, get a little bit more fun and artsy, have some words at the bottom of the screen besides just using my iPhone. But yeah.
Just so you know, it's a super easy thing, and I'm gonna give them a little nod. Subtitle, Zubtitle.
Okay.
45 bucks for the month, and they will transcribe on the video immediately.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's if you would have asked me, 20 years ago where I was going to be at 41, I certainly wouldn't have said I would still be in the mortgage industry. I started, at 19 in the mailroom for a mortgage company. Never would have thought I'd still be here, but it's kind of the industry that sucks you in and you become a family with people. And I'm still really good friends with people I was working with at 20. And I can't imagine doing anything else,
You
whether I'm on the tech side or the mortgage side itself. It certainly taught me a lot, and I've had some awesome mentors, and that is important. So I'd love to be able to do more of that too. Getting some younger folks in the industry and kind of moving them along like I moved along.
What would be, for someone who's starting out and for someone who's looking perhaps for a new direction because COVID might have closed their business or had it that their boss shut down and the
Mhm.
employees, don't have another opportunity yet. What would be your greatest lesson or advice you could give to them?
I would say not to be afraid to take a job that you wouldn't want to get started, to get your feet in, right? When I started at this place in 98, I mean, the only job opening was the mailroom. I'm like, wow, I'm working in the mailroom. But now I'm, vice president over product solutions. So um, don't be afraid to take a smaller job. Gary Vee talks about don't be afraid to be an intern. If you hate your job or you found yourself furloughed or laid off and you want to try something new, regardless what's there, just take it and work hard, focus, and work your way through. And if you get in there and you don't like it, don't stay. Don't stay.
100%. We're both very big Gary Vee fans. And the fact is that, you know, first of all, what you're doing to yourself and being in a place that you don't like is toxic. And
Hmm.
the energy is palpable. Like, if you don't want to be at a place, remember, your boss is paying you to be there.
Exactly.
So you're taking monies that could be someone else's dream job.
Right.
And a toxic team player does not make the team better.
No, it makes it worse. It's kind of like a cancer that spreads through the team, right? I mean, I know that you may need the job, but there's other jobs that you can get, um, and really focus on where you want to be. Don't just think like this job is beneath me or I'm just doing it for the paycheck. If you want to grow in a business, whatever the business channel may be or whatever industry it is, give it 100%. But if you hate it, get out as quickly as you can because you just don't want to waste time. I mean, we all have one life, right? And it sounds corny too, but to talk about, you've got one life, live your best life, kind of, navigate through challenging times. I mean, I was in the mortgage industry in 2008 when I was running a sales team and then they dissolved the position because of the market. And I was stuck in operations and I hated it. Hated because I'm not a behind the scenes reporting person, but I knew that, okay, if I just kept working through it, I would get back where I needed to be. A couple years later, I was back where I needed to be in front of clients and doing what I love. So if that's where you want to be, focus on the long term. Don't think of the short term, pain points, I'd say.
That's amazing, Ashley. And you've given us such great actionable advice, and I think it's really going to be helpful to anyone watching this about don't stay in stuff that sucks. Have a
Yeah.
big picture and a vision in mind.
Hmm. You have to have goals, whether it's, you work for company ABC or company XYZ, just have a goal. Don't think about the company. And obviously things happen. You have to pivot, right? Like none of us expected a pandemic. Sometimes you get married, sometimes you have children that kind of change your goals. But, at the end of the day, when your kids are grown or, if you get divorced or things like that, you have to look out for yourself. And if the company's not a fit for you, it's just as bad for the company for you to stick around than it is for yourself, like you said, with the toxic, because the company needs somebody who's giving 100% and who's focused and not negative, because that negative energy, and there's days that I am totally negative, especially in COVID, because I'm used to being out and running around. Um, have a quick 5-minute cry session and keep moving. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Well, Ashley, it has been an absolute pleasure as always. So lovely to catch up with you. It's been way too long. The next
it
time will not
has.
be 3 years down the road.
No.
So I can't wait to see you hopefully in person soon. And just keep on being a badass,
Awesome. Well,
showing
thanks for
others
having
it's
me.
possible. Thank you.